Okay, good. Let me see how I can bring you all. This is literally my first time. Okay. All right. Peace, y'all. What's up to everybody that's coming in? We're about to get started with the insurance adjusting versus inspecting live. Oh, wait. Bear with me 1 second. I've never gone live with anybody on TikTok before. So, what's up, John? All right. So, as everybody come in, tap the screen. Let's get some likes and let me know what state you checking in from. Um. Oh man, I didn't mean to do that. Oh Lord, Georgia, what's good? Georgia, Georgia, the whole way through. Coach Chat, what's good? What's up? What's up? What's up? Billy Primo, what's up with you? B. Y'all have to excuse me. I just got home for a long day, so I'm unwinding. Today was a long day. It was cold and rainy outside. Um, so tonight we're gonna be talking about independent insurance adjusting and home inspecting and the similarities, the differences. What's up, Coach? I've been here. Where you been at? I've been on my Zoom. Where you been? You ready? Okay, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Wait, hold up. Not the little bitty screen though.
Um, there we go. All right.
Yeah.
Nita, can you see me now?
I can see you, but why is the screen so little?
You know what? I'm trying to figure it out myself. Hold on. I think it's set up. I think your live is set up in a way where you can put multiple people in here. So it'll be. Did it just split everything up to you, or is it just on my screen like that?
No, it did it on me too.
This is crazy. It's like Zoom. This is wild.
I've never done this before with anybody, so I'm
Me
learning.
either.
Let me see settings.
Usually it'd be like, usually I do like the half screen or they'll split the screen up.
Right. Okay, well, I mean, this is better than that little bitty screen that they had. So,
Right. But I think if you go into are you on your live settings?
uh-huh.
Yeah, I think if you go to modify, there's a way. It says only the live creator can expand you again once you shrink yourself. Okay, so if I shrink myself, I think it goes back to where we were.
What settings are you under?
I'm on I'm not the live host, so it's
Okay.
gonna be a bit different. But like if you see Mike and then it says multi, and then you go modify, and you can go to multi and then go live status settings, show live status. Okay, let me see what else on here.
I don't see multi. Audio,
Um,
voice, comment settings, moderators.
at the very
Uh,
bottom, it says you see your microphone.
uh-uh.
It doesn't show microphone. Yeah, see, but you're the host, so it looks a
It
little
might
different.
say different, yeah.
Yeah, cause like,
Host.
watch this. I'm gonna shrink myself real quick. No, that's not it. What I want to. Do. I want to. All right. All right, so now I just shrank myself. Now I'm small again, and you're big. So we out of that situation.
Um. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Settings. Okay, wait. Maybe I saw fixed layout, panel, or grid.
There we go.
Ah, let's get it.
Hey, hey, we
All right.
back.
See, got to
Now we
use
looking
that
like
brain a
something.
little bit.
Hmm. Girl looking crazy out here. How was your day?
Good. It was busy. It's cold and rainy here, so you know how those days be. But it was
Yeah,
productive nonetheless. So
I
can't
love it.
complain. How was yours? In
Um,
paradise.
you know, when I do my lives, I do my lives from my office, and I always try to show people. I show people every once in a while like how I'm living. But I'm looking at an island right now. Like this is.
Mm,
Let me show y'all. Let me show. I'm gonna show you because I don't. I don't think I'm a flexer on the internet for real. So like, I don't know how to change my. Oh, here you go. Here's my camera. Yeah. So that's the
we
island.
can see it. The camera's off.
It's off.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't switch.
Nope.
Hold on. Is it switched now?
Nope.
Dang.
You just see your picture. It's switched
Let me see.
now. Yep.
All right, look.
Oh
Those are all the islands. That's all ocean. It's nighttime, so you can't really. But it's pretty. It's really pretty. So this is my view when I'm working. But yeah, it's summertime now. It's summertime here, so like it's like 80 degrees every day. It's a
yeah.
little
Mm.
windy, but it get hot. Like the sun is strong here, so like it'll burn you. You get sunburned
Mm.
quick, you
Is
know.
there any other season besides like summer, spring?
Yeah, like you got summer and you got spring. Spring can be a little chill. Like it's not chilly, it's just windy. And then you have rainy season. And rainy season, like you'll put like a hoodie on like once or twice during rainy season, but it's just like it rains like every day. That's what kind of sucks because it's like it'll be like 70 degrees and it'll rain like half the day, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody just be inside. But it ain't like it'll never be cold, you
I
know.
still think I would take your rain over this rain.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure you would. Nev, what's up, man? What's up, Nev? My boy
Oh,
Nehemiah
that's
right there.
Nehemiah. Yeah, what's up, Nehemiah? Make sure everybody that's here now, make sure you tap the screen. Let us know what state you checking in from, and make sure you go to the top of the screen and hit follow, so you can follow us both and stay tapped in. Um, this is, it's like TikTok is a very funny place, because it's like there's so much shit going on literally that it's important when you find creators and people who are like actually giving, like, not on here eating and dancing, no disrespect to the people that's eating and dancing, but when you
Yeah.
find people that's really giving you like valuable information, the very least that you could do is tap the screen, follow them, and share the information so that you send a message to TikTok. Hey, this is something worthwhile, like how you do when the people are eating and dancing. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you. What's up, Shamika? Peace. Chad, what's good? Texas, Georgia. Okay, so this live is to talk about um independent insurance adjusting versus inspecting, and again,
Mm-hmm.
all of the similarities, some of the differences, and how you can take advantage of both of them. We're in a very this is an important time in our economy, and like more now so than ever. It's like people need, to be exposed to real skills and real things that can really make you some money. No
Mm-hmm.
matter what your background and what type of experience and education and all of that, you need to learn something that can make you some money to help take care of your family. So that's the purpose of this live. So cuz why don't you start first, introduce yourself and give your perspective.
All right. Yeah. So those of y'all who don't know me, my name is Stephen Story. I'm from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Currently living in Salvador, Brazil. I have been teaching independent insurance just in the last 3 years. We have actually done this before. We did this 2 years ago. Uh, time be
2
flying.
years?
2 years ago. That was 2 years ago. I was in Amsterdam. The last time we did this, I was working out of Europe, and I had to wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to do the live. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
I was in a hotel room and I was like, yo, this is about to suck. I gotta wake up super early. But yeah, so I've taught thousands of students about independent adjusting all around the United States. My students have become managers. I've had several students going to make six figures, and by several, I don't mean a handful. I mean several dozen. I've taught and mentored people who were managers as IAs, who become managers as IAs. My best students have gotten close to $300,000 in 12 months. I've had students do $75,000 in a month. And what I see with what Nita's doing and what I'm doing, there's a strong parallel. It's like this, as far as skills. And I echo the same thing that she said earlier, is that we need to get as many of us in these businesses that don't require, 10, 15, $20,000 in investment, or a college diploma and all these other things, to make 80, 90, $100,000 a year. And so the information that we share with y'all tonight, I hope y'all take advantage of it. We've had, over the years, Nita, I know for you as well, like, we have seen people that are watching our lives go from watching our lives to taking action to changing their lives. So
Facts.
whether it's for us, if you're a home inspector, hell yeah. If you become an independent adjuster, hell yeah. All it is we want to make sure that, well, I know for me, I have a responsibility to show other people the way. From there, it's up to you to take the action. So if I know of something good, I'm going to shout it to the rooftops, because I know that it's a lot of people that just need an opportunity. It's a lot of y'all who are hard workers. Y'all just working in the wrong way.
Right.
We saw where y'all need to go. Y'all can be hard workers and be well paid too.
Right. That just, when you said that, it just made me think about the other day when they was mad at me on Twitter because I told them that
Yeah.
driving for 16 hours and dropping off 50 people's Chipotle
No.
is hustling backwards.
No.
I respect the grind, but
Yeah.
come.
Yeah. It's better ways.
But it's
Like,
exposure. You know what I mean? What I
yeah.
realized in reading some comments and dialogue, it's exposure. Is you don't know what you don't know, and if you
Mhm.
haven't been exposed to things and skills and trades and ideas and different things like that that can generate you, a high earning salary, then you
Mhm.
will, think that that's okay. And what we've got to also realize is that time is more valuable than the money. I just told a contractor that yesterday. The
Mhm.
time, like the wasted time, is costing me more than what I'm paying you. Time is more
Mhm.
valuable, than money. So we've got to work smarter and not harder, and adjusting and expecting, and more so just the skills, because really, with the skill you can go either way, or you can go both
Mhm.
ways. Nehemiah does both. He's an
Yeah.
adjuster and he's an inspector. He can go anywhere in this country, and he does, and be working and making money just like that
Mhm.
based upon the skill. So, what's an adjuster?
What is an adjuster? So specifically, Enan Air, I think I'm saying this right. Anyway, so what an independent adjuster is, an independent adjuster is a contractor that is contracted through an IA firm. An IA firm is essentially a staffing agency for independent adjusters. They are contracted to an insurance carrier to handle claims for an insurance carrier when they have an overflow of claims, like hurricanes, like a lot of car accidents or personal injury, or where a lot of people got hurt in car accidents, things like that. Well, those insurance carriers, they only have a certain amount of staff. And so when they have an overflow, if they can't handle those claims in a certain amount of time, they get fined by the Department of Insurance. So to avoid that, it's cheaper for them to pay an independent adjuster than it is for them to pay fines on every insurance claim that they're going to get fined for. That's overdue, right? And so this industry has been around for over 90 years. It's going to be around for a long time, right? We handle auto claims, we handle property claims, we handle everything in between. If you look around right now, wherever you are in the world, if you look to your right and your left and up and down, and you look at yourself, it can be insured. Okay, just about anything and everything, just about can be insured. And so when those things get damaged, people file claims on that. And so we go in as adjusters, then we go in and review claims. We go in and inspect properties. We go in and look at houses and cars and things like that. And then we make a decision whether or not we're going to be paying on it or not, based on the insurance policy. Do you need a certification for your state? There are 34 licensed states in the United States. 16 states do not require a license. So to handle insurance claims in the United States, you will need a license, whether it's a home state or a designated home state. Okay, so yes, you need a certification. It's called a state license, and we can get into that as we go on. But that's like a bird's eye view of independent adjusting, and it's like a very like it's not a super detailed explanation of anything, but that's I hope that answers your question.
Thank y'all for the shares, Nehemiah and BTS. Make sure you keep tapping the screen. We need to go ahead and get to like 2,000, 2,500 likes.
Mm-hmm.
So we can go ahead and get into it. So, give an example just so people like can understand. Like when you said like an insurance company, what's an example of an insurance company that would have the staff adjusters and have need for independent adjusters?
Right. So you look at a company like State Farm, Allstate, Geico, Liberty Mutual. What else? There's 5,200 insurance carriers in the United States. So we have a lot of big ones like the State Farms, and then you have a lot of small ones too. We got like Hallmark and Federated National and Universal, and we have a lot of small like we have some companies that are just in one state like Texas Wind Insurance Association, TWIA, right? You have national ones like the NFIP, National Flood Insurance Program. That's an insurance company. So some insurance companies you've heard of, you've seen their USAA, right? You've seen their commercials on TV, but you have a lot of them that you've never heard of. But those companies are often looking for IAs, independent adjusters. And sometimes you have small companies that will pay you a lot of money and you never heard of them. So it's a skill. It's a skill, all right. And it's a whole lot of people that we can work with, and we can also work for companies that you might not think they have insurance claims, like Budweiser. I know insurance adjusters that work for Budweiser. I know insurance adjusters that work for Amazon, because Amazon has a fleet of vehicles, and so they have their own department that handles their cars in inside
Wow.
the company of Amazon. I've worked warranty claims for Home Depot before, right? Because Home Depot, and this just so y'all understand how big this is as an industry. Home Depot was doing construction on houses for a time. You could go to Home Depot and they would bid out on vinyl siding and roofing and things like that. Well, when their contractors did faulty work, that was a warranty claim. And so we had to go out and inspect the property and then handle that claim. So it's a lot, independent adjusting or insurance adjusting and the skills we create around it have a lot of applications as well as for like home inspecting.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's a fact. That's what I love though about the real estate industry, which is basically inspecting falls up under that, and also the end. You talking about like two of the big. When you talk about the biggest insurance and real estate, that's creme de la creme. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
if you have children and they not gonna go to school to be a doctor, lawyer, or they not going into the service, they probably need to start with insurance, make them some money, and then get into real estate. That's one of the things that I love though, is so many different things that you could do. Like for us on the home inspector side of things, you can be an independent home inspector, or you can be a building inspector and and work a good job for the government. Same
Mm-hmm.
skills. That's why I think we really emphasize this on the last one too. Is really the skills, man. It's like the things that the specialized knowledge. There are not many people on this planet outside of adjusters and inspectors and obviously tradespeople who know a house like how we know it. The things that
Yo,
really matter, not just the paint and the
yo,
vanity, and you know what I mean. That knowledge is invaluable,
I
literally.
would I would say, and you posted that about being a building inspector on Twitter, didn't you? That $70,000 a year job.
Yep.
That was so interesting to me because like I'm looking at it from the idea of like, hey, I have a high school diploma. I didn't really do good in school so well. I might have got into some stuff early, early in life. 70 grand changed everything. You are firmly in the middle
Benefits.
class. You feel me? You're firmly in the middle class at 70
Yep.
grand. Like you do a little hustling on the side, you at 100 grand. If you have a partner, y'all at 100 grand.
Hmm.
With like you said, with a skill, and so I think that was something that stuck out to me. What are the steps to becoming an adjuster? So, for the sake of the conversation, I'm gonna keep my answers a bit short, y'all. Okay, I have a lot of free resources on TikTok, y'all. If y'all follow me, you're gonna see all I talk about is TikTok. On TikTok is insurance adjusting. I don't talk about anything else. I have a wealth of resources there on my TikTok. If you just follow me, you'll see it. But for now, I'm gonna explain it. So first thing you gotta do, you gotta verify if you're eligible to become an independent insurance adjuster. That's high school diploma. You gotta be able to pass a background check. You can have a felony, but it cannot be a felony related to theft, fraud, or moral turpitude. If you are a person who has a felony or a misdemeanor, it is always a good idea before you spend any money in this industry to contact your Department of Insurance via email. They'll hit you back real quick, let them know your situation in detail, and they'll let you know if you're eligible. From there, you gotta be a U.S. resident, you gotta be able to have a U.S. work visa, one of the two. You can't do this outside the United States. Last but not least, pass a pre-licensing course, pass a state exam. You are a licensed adjuster. From there, you need to get some certifications. You need to get some more licenses, and you have to start applying to IA firm rosters. Okay, I explain all this on my TikTok for the sake of our conversation. I'm not gonna go too deep into that. Okay, but you begin your hiring process, you update your resume, and bam, you start working. Those are the, again, just bird's eye view steps to becoming an adjuster.
It's the same thing too with an inspector. Like, I've shared on my platform here. We have the same thing, regulated and non-regulated. So in some states there are certain requirements, pre-licensing hours, like he mentioned, passing an exam, and then there are other states where they don't have that requirement. So as soon as you learn how to do it, you can actually start inspecting. I will say that I've been an adjuster before. I went through the process, the test, the licensing, all of that. Both processes, the inspector process and the adjuster, are well worth it. What you have to do, I mean, from a time perspective and also from a money perspective, the return is 10x. So, this is not something, again, we're not talking about you got to be in school for 4 or 5, 6 years. You got to have done 100, this is not that.
No.
So again, if you lock in, on the inspector side of things for 5, 6 months, on the adjuster side, I think even less than that, you can be licensed, certified, and well on your way to deployments on that side of things. And then the other thing that I like too about that is why you're not, quote unquote, you ain't even got into deployments, but why you're not, quote unquote, deployed, there are still other things that you can do, at home
Mhm.
to be making money,
It's a
more
lot.
money, yeah, than you would
It's a
make at a
lot.
job.
Yeah. Right. So what I would say, and this is what I kind of remind everybody. I want to remind everybody of a couple things. If you're broke right now, you've been broke for a while, it's okay to be broke for a few more months.
You
If
got
that's what it
time.
takes. If it
Hmm.
takes for you to get, if it's 6 months, right, to get your home inspector license. If it's I would say 2 to 3 months on a time frame. If you are a serious person, you can get it done in 30 days. But most people aren't serious, so life gets in the way and all that stuff. So I would say 90 days. Give yourself 90 days to become an adjuster on the slow side. But if you dead serious, you can get it done in 30 to 45 days. But more so than that, if you look at the income, right? If we're looking at 60, 70, $80,000 and up, if I told you right now it would take a year of schooling, and in 2025 you would make $90,000 in a year, you would more than likely say that's fair. Okay. But when I say become an adjuster, and then people start trying to rush, I'm like, well, how much do you currently make? Like, because if I say, hey, do these steps, and I'll make sure that you get to 120, $130,000 in the next, 12 to 18 months, I think you just got to be patient. There's some patience that I think is required now, because lawyers lawyers ain't making 120 grand their first year as a lawyer. Doctors ain't making 120 grand their first year as a doctor. And so you can skip past that by just being patient for a few months. So don't rush. If you're struggling right now, struggle a little bit longer. You'll make it. You'll be fine.
Talk about what, okay, so I'm going through the process, I get my licenses, whatever the case may
Yeah.
be. What is my actual job? Talk to me about what I actually have to do as an adjuster.
All right. That's great. Yeah, because we haven't talked about that, right? So, me and you talk to each other, we both know. So like we know all this stuff. So what I would say, there's three uh, types of independent adjusting. We have people who do what Nita does, which is go out and inspect property, or they inspect houses. They'll go in, they take photos, they schedule appointments, they're getting on roofs, they're walking in houses, they're sketching, and then they're gonna do some estimating using Symbility or an Exactament. That's field property. Field auto, they have some other software systems for cars, but essentially the same thing. They can go to the site of a car accident, or they go into a body shop, they take photos, write an estimate, and they send that in to the desk adjusters. All right, desk adjusters, whether it's auto property, bodily injury, auto PIP, warranty, whatever, litigation, any of those things, we're reviewing what a field adjuster sent to us. We're reviewing file notes. We're talking to the insurers. We're making inbound and outbound calls. We're sending emails. We're receiving emails. We're reviewing policy, and that's where things get a bit difficult. We're reviewing policy to make a settlement decision, right? And we're doing that within a certain amount of time every day. We usually have numbers we got to hit every day. So you can't just mess around. You got to hit. They might say, hey, we need you to be in 15 claims in a day, or we need you to call 20 people in a day, or we need whatever that number is, they want you to hit in a day or a week. So you want to be doing that. On the remote side of things, you're doing the same thing as a desk adjuster does, but you're doing it from the house. Our days last anywhere from 10 to 12 hours, depending on your requirements. It can be intense. Okay, this is not ditch digging. It's not just super backbreaking work, but it's not a cash grab. You're not winning the lottery. You're gonna earn the money that you make. You deal with a lot of people who had some really bad days. Okay, if you're dealing with a person with a car wreck, that's a total loss. So somebody could have lost life. They could have had a traumatic injury. Somebody else could have died in a car wreck, all right? Because it's a total loss situation. When you're dealing with these houses, sometimes houses are burned down, they've blown away, they burned up, right? So you have to practice a lot of empathy when you're talking to people on the phones. Even though they're talking crazy to you, they want to cuss you out and all that stuff. You got to keep it cool. You got to keep it professional because they're not calling because it's a pretty day outside. They're calling because something bad has happened, and you're there to help them, right? So we're writing file notes on a day-to-day basis. We read a lot. We read a lot and we write a lot, and we think a lot in this business. So if any one of those three things is hard for you, you might not want to be an independent adjuster.
That's a fact. All right, so we got about 30 people in here. So everybody on the count of three, we're gonna all tap the screen together. Y'all ready? We got 30. Wow, a couple of y'all left because I said we was gonna tap the screen. What type of boy? Y'all some.
Hey,
Anyways, the 24
jumping.
of us who are here and recognize the value. On the count of three, we're gonna all tap the screen. Ready? One, two, three. Tap, 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 tap,
There we
tap, tap.
go.
If you got questions about adjusting and or inspecting, drop them in the chat and also let us know what states you're talking about. I think that you brought up something important about the people side of it, right? So it's not just
Mhm,
the technical skills of obviously again
mhm,
knowing the house, taking a picture, doing all that kind of stuff, but you're literally dealing with, like you said, from an auto accident to the cat side of things where people,
mhm,
hurricanes and floods and all of these different things that have happened to people, and not only are they dealing with loss of their things, but
mhm,
it's like mentally and emotionally taxing, and you have to be even kiltered enough to deal with that. And it's the same thing, not as severe, not as much on the inspecting side of things. People on the inspecting side of things are typically just nervous and scared, right? They've never gone through this
mhm,
process before. This is the largest purchase of their lives in most cases, and they're just
mhm,
concerned. And so they ask a lot of questions, and they're just nervous. And so there is a social a soft skills element where you have to be patient and empathetic and understanding with these people. And I think, in my opinion, it's communication, right? It's the tone you use, the words you use, like everything about the way that you communicate has to be on point, because again, you got to remember, you're the expert, you're the professional in this situation. These people are a lot of times all over the place. And so that's another important factor. I had somebody tell me that they ain't want to talk to nobody. And I'm thinking like, well, I'm not sure how you're gonna make much money in this life because you know, so
Look,
but like you said, if that is not your strong suit or that's not something that you're looking to do, or you know, then neither of these would much of nothing is gonna be for you. But
look.
there's definitely gonna be that. And it's not only on our side of things, it's not only just the client too, but it's the realtor. You know, it's like I got to have
Mhm.
several conversations with the realtor, phone conversations, well, can you say this clearer? Could you highlight this? Could you circle? And it's like, you know, there's patience, there's understanding, because at the end of the day, we're all working on the same team, you know, on our side, trying to, you know, look out for the buyer, on the adjusting side, trying to look out for the claimant and all of that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Is Inspector Flow, but no, we not, IF6 is not full. IF6 is not full. If you, Inspector Flow is the school that I created for, inspectors. The second link in my bio will give you all of the information. If you got a question specifically about it, go ahead and drop it in the chat. Thank you for the likes, Fo.
What
Thank you everybody that liked the live.
when you do your groups, how many people are you teaching at a time?
I started off with like 30
Mm-hmm.
and I have chopped it down significantly, just because that's a lot. 30 different people in different states and different things like that. It's a lot. So I like to keep the classes capped at no more than 20.
Yeah, I started at 30 as well, and it's ridiculous.
Hmm.
It's like actually ridiculous. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, do I have kids now? Like are these my children?
Yeah,
Like,
that's 30 different personalities and
yo,
learning styles and all that. And I've had smaller classes the last couple of times, and the data tells me that our testing results, more people pass the test quicker in a smaller class. So, you know,
I agree.
ultimately
I
that's the
think
goal. I could care less if I got 30 people and, you know, I still got a group of them that's not my goal. I'd rather cut the dead weight and go for the quality.
I agree. I think for me, like what I've seen, because I feel like me and you started teaching at that level around the same time.
Hmm.
What I've seen is that, and it's really unfortunate because like I've seen people, it doesn't really matter how much I charge them, they don't come to class. They just won't show up. I have people that will pay for the full amount of the mentorship and then they'll never talk to me again. Literally. Like, and I'm like, well, what, like I'm emailing you, I'm texting you, you didn't hit me back. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
I got in my, so I have a coaching agreement, right? And so it says in the agreement, if you miss more than two classes, I'm probably gonna put you out with no refund.
Mhm.
So, you know, while I hate to do that, because again, my goal is to have the people, I stopped caring because it's like ain't no way in hell I could care more than you care. So if you're not gonna, I done set the table, cooked you a wonderful meal,
Yo,
invited people over, and you ain't gonna show up to eat, that's on
right.
you, baby.
I agree. I agree. Okay, I'm glad we both on the same page because it's interesting. But what I would say for everybody that's watching this is that if you take action, you're gonna get some results. You
Right.
know, these businesses that we've been in. So to give y'all a little bit more of a background on me and why I know about home inspection. I got my real estate license when I was 20 years old. So this is 15 years ago I got my real estate license. But my parents have been in real estate my entire life. And so I got to know a lot of home inspectors over my life. I got to know them very quite well growing up. And I knew that a lot of home inspectors created construction companies, roofing companies. They got deeper into
Hmm.
construction because you get so deep into your knowledge of homes. You
Hmm.
know, I don't know if you've seen that for yourself too.
Oh yeah, facts. People getting off into a lot of, you got people who've started, you know, mold sample companies, just, and that's all they do is mold sample testing or sewer scoping, and that's all they do, or radon, or you know, down in Florida, a lot of pools, water quality testing, all of these different things. There's so many, you know, different paths that, like you said, you can dive deeper into. You could be a 203K consultant. You know, you could like, I mean, you know, my path, um I'm going for I'm going for the top. You know what I mean? So I'm going after ICC certifications, B1, P1, N1. So that's what I'm working on now, cuz ultimately I want to run the building and housing department here in Cleveland and like start
I
to,
see.
corner the private and the public and
Mhm.
infuse, what I think is the right way to do it. Because I don't. That's the thing. You can't have, you know, a strong city needs a strong housing stock, or in order to be a strong city you need a strong housing stock, and in order to have a strong housing stock you've got to have a strong building and housing department, health department, who can sort of regulate, and cut out a lot of this abandoned home and cut out people just doing anything they want to do to homes and different things like that. There are certain things, that we look at in our inspections like that affect the insurability. I know that's, on the sales and
Mhm.
the issue side,
Yeah,
but it's all,
that's
it's
true.
all related, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And so, yeah, there are a ton of different things that you could do. This is like, home inspecting is like, the knowledge of it is like literally the starting point, and then you could go
Yeah.
as far as you literally want to. There are so many fake accounts, Viv, that are like, I just don't know what to do about them anymore. I block, I report, I done reached out to TikTok. I have one account, and I promise you, I will never send you a DM. I'm never begging you to do nothing. So if it sounds anything like that, I can assure you it's not me. I barely answer the DMs that are sent to me, so I will never send you one first. So I'm glad that you came here so you can see if they not talking how I'm talking like this, if they talking any of that soft type of, oh please, like, it's not your cuz.
No, no, no.
Quick
I have
question:
not
is this a
made.
stable career, 40 hours plus, recession proof?
Which one? You talking about home inspector or insurance adjuster?
We'll go both. Start with adjusting.
All right. So this is what I would say. Is it a stable career? It can become stable with your skills and your networking. I find that for a lot of new adjusters, they get kind of surprised when they get released after a month or 2 months or 3 months, and they're like, "Yo, what's going on? What happened?" And it's like, "Well, you're independent and you did your job. Now they don't need you anymore." And so now I go to the next job. And so for a lot of people, they can't get with that, and so they can't make that adjustment, and so they get out of the business. But what I will say is it has been very stable for me because I'm really good at it and I'm actively trying to get better at it. So for a lot of new adjusters, they're going to give you a shot. They're going to see how you are. If you can learn well and learn quickly and apply what you learn, you're going to stick around. You're going to make a lot of money in the business. 40 hours is not even where we started. We start at 50 hours and we go to 70 hours. Catastrophe season, we can go into the 80s, depending on what's needed from the insurance carrier. But we make they pay us. We're getting paid, 30 dollars an hour plus on the first 40 hours, and then we go into that $50-$60 range for your time and a half. That's if you're working inside or remote. For your field adjusters, it's a whole nother level. Now, as far as recession proof, that's a great question. What I will say is that our industry is based around human error and the weather. Okay, so people are always messing up. They burn up houses, burning that, stealing, vandalizing houses, wrecking cars. And then we have the weather, right? We always have hail, we have snow, we have tornadoes, earthquakes, wildfires, and we have hurricanes that are massive things and flooding in the United States. So all those things are what the insurance industry is based off of. We're not based on the S&P 500 and the economy, right? So during the pandemic, we made a ton of money. When everything else slowed down, insurance was we're going we're going crazy. They was trying to we were like looking for people to hire. So yeah, so if it's stable that you're looking for, I don't know what stable is, right? So stable, so if it's $40,000 a year every year, that's stable. But I know that we got people doing 90, 100, 120, 150, 200, 250, 280. So it all depends on what you want.
Yeah, you got to look at this too. This is not like your 9 to 5, like you clock in, get some coffee in the break room, and go sit at your cubicle until 5, and then clock out and go home. This is not that. Again, we talking about high earning situations, careers, jobs, skills, things that you can do to generate a lot of money. You don't generate a lot of money with minimal work. It don't work like that. I know that's what they telling
No.
you on the internet, but they lying to you, okay? It doesn't work like that. You can make a lot of money, but you're going to work. It's the same thing on the inspecting side of thing. on the expecting side of things, there are always people are saying we're in a recession now, but just last week I had 3 inspections, which is a lot for me. That's $1,500. And I worked about 7 hours, and that's a lot for me. I typically don't do 3 weeks because I'm doing a bunch of other stuff. So in a recession, and I was at another one today, and it's like y'all are calling me more in December than you called me all year. Right now, while we're supposed to be in a recession, people are always going to be buying homes. Like that's just
Mhm.
we don't have enough of them. People are no matter what the price is, no matter what the rates are, people are always going to be buying homes, and 80% of the homes that are sold require an inspection. So we're going to always pretty much be working. Obviously, like right now, this is quote unquote slower season because of the weather and the holidays and things like that. So
Mhm.
it's a little bit less. But come spring, April, May, when things pump back up, we're gonna be right back. Super busy. So, but again, this is not. I don't. I'm not available from 9 to 5 as an inspector. Somebody might text a realtor might text me right here while I'm doing this live. My client just went under contract. We've got 48 hours to get this inspection. Can you do it tomorrow at 9 a.m.? And so and on that
Mhm.
inspection I work about 2.5 hours and I'll make $500. So it's worth my while to
I love
rearrange
it.
my schedule and make myself available tomorrow at 9 to get that inspection done for them.
Do you think, Nita, one real quick, GSA, follow me. If you want to look more into it, follow me. Okay, I got a whole bunch of information for you. I got an FAQ guide that's free for all y'all. Y'all got a lot of questions y'all asking, but it's even more questions that you don't even know to ask. It's inside my free guide. You get, and then in that free guide, you also get access to my daily email list. I got an email list. I'm literally on there all day, every day, shooting an email out to y'all. We got over 6,000 people on that list, and so get in there and get some more information. But what I would ask you, Nita, is like we've been doing this for some years now. Damn, God, this is crazy. To have a skill that's not tied to like you having to go apply for some job at like CVS or something like that. How has that changed your lifestyle?
It totally changed my lifestyle. This is the second one, right? So investing was my first one. It's just literally buying my time back. That's how that has been the most transformative thing for me. I remember when I used to work. I used to sell cell phones. That's really like the only job that I had. And I remember I could never be with my family for Thanksgiving or Christmas because those were the busiest times in retail, and I was always at work. And I used to be like, damn, like I'm not making enough money to be missing my grandma's mac and cheese. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, and so that
Mm-hmm.
was one of the things that fueled me. Is like I don't want to have to. If something happens, I don't want to be going to ask nobody. Can I get this time off so I can go tend to my business or my family? Like that wasn't that I always had a problem with that, and so that was one of the reasons why I worked so hard first on my investing career to get to the point where it's like I don't have to punch anybody's, and nothing's wrong with the job, don't get me wrong, but for me, I needed my time back. And inspecting has done the same thing. I'm not a full-time inspector, meaning I don't do 2 inspections a day, 3 4 days a week, but like even just doing those 3 inspections last week, that extra $1,500, like I'm not so
Yeah.
up that $1,500 for seven
$1,500 do
hours a week
something.
don't excite me.
$1,500 do something. What are you talking about? That's look.
You
fifteen
feel
hundred
me? Like
dollars.
that's for something that I like to do. I enjoy it. There was nobody over my back. I got out, go outside, fly my drone, take some pictures, look at houses, write a
Mm-hmm.
report, boom, and I help somebody. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, again, nobody knew the house, not the realtor, not the loan officer, not the client, not the appraiser. Nobody knows the house like I do. So I'm able to educate and
Mm-hmm.
help people. So for me, it's been totally life changing on both fronts, investing and inspecting.
I love it. Because yeah, you were buying houses first. See, I've been watching. I've been watching
This is
for
my
a minute.
second iteration, baby.
I love it. It was for me, like y'all, I'm from the country for real. I just want everybody to understand that I'm from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, for real. And I didn't leave Alabama until I was 26 years old. I thought I'd never leave Tuscaloosa. And to leave there, and then like insurance adjusting, just like it just supercharged everything because I was 27 making over $100,000. I'm living in Atlanta, and I'm like, I can do anything. You know, so that's how I felt at that time. Like I was like, I'm rich, you know.
Right.
And I just remember it. I remember how good it felt to pay for my sister's rent when she was in chiropractic school. I knew how good it felt to like buy my mom expensive stuff, like buying her Louis bags and $400 perfumes and stuff at will, just because I felt like it. And you know, we don't live in a vacuum of just like go to work and make money, right? We all have our things that we do, and like being able to impact a lot of other people close to me uh, financially when they needed help, that meant a lot for me. And also like, you know, getting out of debt. Like I don't got no college debt no more. I don't got no car loan. Like, y'all, it feels so good.
Right.
It feels so good. Like Fannie Mae, them make like who is it? I forgot. Sally Mae. Sally Mae?
Mhm.
Is that college one? I
Mhm.
forgot. I done forgot now. It's been so long since you called. But my challenge to all y'all is I'm not so different from any of y'all. You know, we're neither one of us are so different from any of y'all. We saw a problem in our lives and we was like, you know what, I can solve it. And like, especially for black people, like it's so many black folks I've seen my whole life that were smart individuals and they worked hard and they were proud of working hard and they were making $35,000 a year, you know, working their ass off for 35 grand. And it's like, that ain't living. You're working.
Mhm.
It's a lot of honor and work, you know, but we can do this at another level and we can have some things because of that. And so for me, I'm like, yo, here's the door. Go through that door right there. And I'm trying to
Mhm.
ring the alarm for so many of us because I don't want us to be, why we gotta be broke all the time?
Mhm.
Why we gotta be broke? Why we gotta be the ones struggling all the time? When there's another way, but if we, you know, two of us and others of us, if we're not actively sharing, and I think that's something that is different between our generation and we look at, you know, people 20 and 30 years older than us, they were the first and they were the first people to do the things they were doing and they didn't know to share,
It died with them. Yeah.
you
Yep.
know? And
Mhm.
so
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
think
just
that's a big point though. Like, too, again, I had just posted something saying on my Instagram where on Facebook from 2016, I was talking about dropping my wholesaling content, my wholesaling course back in 2016. Like, before people was even thinking about courses, it was on my mind, on my heart, heavy, to share the information. Everything that I've ever learned and got good at, I've shared it. You know what I mean? It's like I done gave away more games than I've ever sold in my life. And
mhm.
even here on this platform, I don't take it for granted. I appreciate the fact that I'm able to spread my gospel, my message of learn and trade and get paid. Like, I'm not knocking the job or not knocking any of that other stuff, but that I know that especially people from our community, we need to make money, man. It's not everything, but it's a whole lot of things.
It's up there
And I
with
know,
air.
yeah, and I know what it's like. I didn't, I've been trying to finish college my whole life. I go back. I just like so I know what it's like to you know um be trying to put together a resume and you trying to work around the fact that I only got coursework and no graduation. I got
Mhm.
umpteen jobs and like I know what all of that's like. And if I were to just look at the expectant, like that is life change. Just think about it. Like somebody even like Nehemiah. Nehemiah is early 20s, mid 20s, something like that. Are
Man,
you
he
kidding
in
me?
his 20s. Nehemiah's 23. He's 23, 24. Like, he been printing money for 3 years. He's seasoned and he's 24 years old. Wait till he gets to our age.
All around the country, meeting people, investing in his knowledge. Like Nehemiah be putting me on the stuff, and I'll be like, "Wow, where'd you even get?" You know what I
Nehemiah,
mean?
I'll be
It's like,
calling Nehemiah. What are you talking about? I'll be like, yo, Nehemiah, you know how to do this. Hey, help me out. You know? But
that's the reason why like I do this. You know what I mean? Like again, I don't care to be known or popular and then I wish I could do this without you all knowing who I am. But like seeing people like that, I got a 21-year-old right now in Inspector Flow from Illinois. Like Can a 21-year-old black man with this type of knowledge, the wherewithal to even go through the schooling to pay for
Mm-hmm.
it, like you're
Mm-hmm.
not gonna be able to do nothing with that black man.
Yeah.
Like
Give him 5 years. Give him five
that is
years.
that's transforming to me our community, like education, knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
exposure to these high earning situations. That's how
Mm-hmm.
we change. That's how you get people off the streets from killing each other and robbing. You have them somewhere learning something that makes both sense.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
feel
No,
me?
you're right. I think I was
Make sure
looking
y'all tap
at.
the screen. Sorry, cuz not to interrupt you. Make sure y'all tap the screen. We need to get to 10K right quick. Tap the screen. It's good shit. Tap.
Yo, so we got some of JD was in. He said he made $24,000 in 2 months doing auto during health season. Golly, that's a lot of money. Yo, that's some money. Y'all ain't playing around. You know what's funny? What's funny to me is my students that I teach have out earned me several times as adjusters. Like just if I was adjusting, what I knew about adjusting, I never made $12,000 in a month doing auto in hell season. Now I've done that kind of money doing some other things in adjusting, but like some of the numbers they tell me they hit, I'm like, golly, like what? I taught you
Same.
that?
Same.
Like, shit. How in the world you do
Same.
that?
Hmm.
But what I would say to go back to your point is like I look at what my dad and my uncle did for our family. My dad got into real estate in the '70s. Black man in West Alabama. Like this is revolutionary stuff back then. And my uncle is 10 years older than him, so he's in his 80s now, and he got into truck driving in the 60s. So and then he opened up a cleaning company after that, Story Cleaning Services. But what happened after that? These two guys out of the Black Belt, poorest places in the United States for Black people, and both of them have doctors for children. My sister's a doctor. My cousin, my uncle's daughter, is a doctor. My brother's a PhD. My other cousin, she's an engineer, and it changed our family structure because
Hmm.
they began learning skills and earning their income, right? And so, like, what can Nehemiah do for his family? What can some of y'all that's watching this for right now who haven't taken that first step yet? What does 20 years from now look like? 30 years from now, 40 years? Your children will never know poverty. Your
Yep.
grandkids might never know poverty,
Yep.
because of the things you're doing today. Because life, we create ripple effects. And so if you can be a person that makes, we're going to use Nehemiah for an example. I think Nehemiah, you're around 23 to 25 years old. If we keep Nehemiah at earning six figures or more every year until he's 30, he's marrying different, he's living in a different neighborhood. He has a whole nother level he's 23 years old, right? So you're already 3 years in. So at 30, he's 10 years into high levels of income.
Hmm.
For him to make the jump to being a millionaire, this is just reading a few new books.
Right.
He reads a couple of different books. He's a millionaire at 30. What does that look like at 40, at 50, at 60? And so Nehemiah, as one person with one skill and some work ethic, can change not only himself, but everybody in his immediate family. And he can be an example for so many other people. And we're using Nehemiah as an example because he's been a student of both of ours, but also because you can do it too. It's not about the next 6 months. It's not about the next year. What is the next 5 years of you having skills like home inspecting, independent adjusting do for you? And does it do for your family? I'm gonna give y'all an example. Like I told you, I'm in Tuscaloosa, Alabama now. I live in Brazil because of independent adjusting. Independent adjusting took me out of the United States in 2018. I moved to Canada for a contract, and then I got rid of my house. I got rid of my car. I sold that. I had a Canadian work visa and a bunch of Canadian licenses. Then the pandemic hits. I still had a Canadian work visa. I moved to Brazil with a computer from Canada and a Canadian work visa, and I keep working. And I'm still here. I speak another language now. I live on the ocean and everything, but it's all within my industry. But that's from I got licensed 8 years ago. So in 8 years, everything changed. And so for y'all that's watching, y'all, like everything can change and keep getting better and better and better for you. Like when you started this, I know you weren't trying to be a teacher.
No.
Nita?
Absolutely not. When I got into inspecting because I was paying for so many of them myself and giving so many referrals from people that I was helping buy houses, and the inspectors weren't doing a great job for me, and that's what prompted me to even look into it for myself. And then when I got into it, I'm just again thinking I'm just nah, I got to pay them to do a piss poor job. I could do it for myself and for my
Uh-huh.
network. And then I got in and I was like, wait a minute, hold up, you don't need a college degree, you don't need any education, you can do this anywhere. I was like, I gotta share it. That's always my first thought. I gotta share it. I gotta tell people. And from
Mm-hmm.
telling people, it was like, okay, well, how are they gonna learn how to do it? These other places, these other schools, they leaving a whole lot to be desired. How are people from my community, minorities, women, youth, how are they going to learn? And that's how I got into teaching. But I would say this, I am only able to teach. I was just looking at it, going through some of my old stuff, looking at courses that I completed in 2018 and 2019. I'm only able to teach because of how I prepared back then. I wasn't thinking about teaching back then. I was just thinking about learning. That's how I was preparing for me. That's how I was
Mm-hmm.
giving it up for me, not ever thinking about Nehemiah or Diego or none of these other people that I would teach, 6 or 7 years. I always talk about in inspector flow how competency leads to confidence. You see people and they show up and they're it's like, they just know they belong and they so confident and you're wondering why. And that's because those are the people that's been in the lab. Them people been
Mm-hmm.
on their Zoom
Mm-hmm.
studying, investing in themselves to get you better competency. So of course I show up. You lucky I'm here. It's a blessing that I'm here, that I'm your inspector because I know what I'm talking about, and I'm no
Mm-hmm.
different than all of y'all. I saw Mark Whitten on World Star 11 years ago, and that's what started my journey. The same way that you watching us here on TikTok, it's the same thing. The difference is I took massive, consistent action. When I saw him talking that stuff on there about how he did and what I could do and all of that, I got bit by the bug and I ain't stopped yet. That's the only
Mm-hmm.
difference. See, y'all will watch and then y'all will log off and be like, yeah, that was some good shit they were saying. And then nothing else to it.
Yo, you can't be like that. I think it's funny is like, I say the same thing. Competence will make you confident, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I did, I said, I'm committing the next 5 years to becoming excellent at this. I want to be amazing at this, right? And so I got the opportunity to do it. Um, but it was based around my commitment. Because what I saw was, I was like, if I commit to being excellent at this, I'm gonna get called. I'm gonna have a better network. I'm gonna make more money, and I'm gonna have a more stable income, right? And so I did that, and then I looked up 5 years later. I was like, damn, I'm pretty good at this. But now I'm able to teach because I committed,
Right.
right? And that's my challenge to everybody watching this: commit. Just commit. Just go dive in feet first and say, I'm going to be this, and I'm gonna commit the next 5 years of my life. I'm not doing anything else. I'm not doing a bunch of other side hustling. I'm just going to do this thing, and we'll look up in 5 years and we'll see what's going to happen. The 5 years is going to pass anyway. You
Anyway.
might as well get
Mm-hmm.
serious about something for once in your life. You
Yep.
know, that's something I
That's
think that faults a lot of people, is that they're not serious. I'm gonna let you answer those questions.
Is home inspecting dependent on the real estate market? To a degree, yes. Obviously, the more homes that are being sold, then the more inspections there are. But there are always a lot of homes being sold. The media don't want you to know that, but there are always, no matter where you are in the country, there are. Just think about it like this: as a one person uh, home inspection company or team, you can only do max typically about two a day. So that's if you work Monday through Friday, that would be 10 a week, that would be 40. That's like max on the high end. If you were to do just 10 inspections, that means that in your area, there would need to be 10 homes sold. Those inspections would be anywhere from $400 to $500. At the end of the month, you would have made $4,000 to $5,000 with just 10. So that's on the way, way low end. So it doesn't matter really what's going on with the market. There's always going to be work for us. At times, again, there's more work. Like I said, right now we're in slow season. But come spring, when everybody and their mama is out buying houses, then we're gonna be slammed. And then that's when are doing your two a day, taking you about 2.5, 3 hours on average, $500. I mean, you literally going home with $1,000 in your pocket. Like these are the facts. This is not like some like theory that I've conjured up. This is what has happened for me
Tell what you
several
know. Let me
times.
tell what you heard. Tell what you know.
Crazy. I
Look.
was introduced to adjusting by inspecting a home of an insurance. Wow, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to go off the top of my head. Every industry I know that IAs also do, or they have made companies around it. So I know independent adjusters that have gotten a home inspection, not just Nehemiah. I know several that have done that. Um, I know a bunch that got into construction, whether it was just straight up doing new builds, development. A lot of roofing companies. I know a lot of people who went roofing to insurance adjusting and insurance adjusting and roofing, fencing. It's a lot of money to be made in building fences for houses, y'all. Just so y'all know. And I ain't talking about iron gate fences. I'm talking about straight up pine
Wood, yeah.
fences.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What else? Estimate writing for construction companies. So if you're good with exact ability, it's easy to make a couple $100 on writing estimates for construction companies. What they doing, like for all these remodeling companies, they have to get exact estimates done, right? So if you're a field adjuster, you can write those as well. Water mitigation. All these mitigation companies like Service Pro, like when a company gets smoke damage or water damage, things like that, like a toilet overflow, the house has to get dried out. I know it just that switched into mitigation work. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's so much stuff that goes into houses. Okay, it's in property in general, right? Whether they could be commercial property as well, and it's like if you can just get the base of this, you have the tools to make so much money in whatever slow season it is, right? If you know how much manpower is and material costs are, then all you gotta do is bid. If you can write, and then if you can write the bid, all you gotta do is bid. You ain't gotta be some big, strong, burly man who knows a bunch about how to throw a hammer around.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can do the bid, somebody else can do the work for you, and they subcontract under you, right? So just based off of you knowing those types of things. So it's that's just five industries off the top of my head that I mentioned. Neither you
And
got
right, think about how this is the other thing about in adjusting and inspecting and how they go hand in hand. I know a lot of adjusters get off into the cat season, right? So cat season is only what is it, 2 months or so? It's a
two or
couple
three.
months, 2 or 3 months a year where they're gonna be off adjusting, grinding and making a freaking bag. And then when they come home, guess what they can do because of the knowledge and the skills that they have? They can be a home inspector when they're not deployed, right? And the same thing, when if right now don't want to be inspecting because we're in slow season, then you could pick up, adjusting. So it's no again, when you got the skills, it ain't no such thing as a slow season.
Oh
Um,
no. And
Make
don't
sure
listen.
y'all everybody we almost had 10K likes. Tap the screen. Let's get up to 10K. Listen, this is what I want to know from y'all. We giving y'all a lot of information about, two different, very similar but different paths that you could take to get it back. What questions do y'all have? What do y'all need to actually take action? Like, I don't want y'all to just neither one of us is into like just doing this to hear ourselves talk. Like the whole purpose of doing this is to really like push y'all to action. So who gonna let me know in the comments? Is anybody gonna take action? What you prefer? Adjusting, inspecting? What information do you need? Like what can we do tonight in the next couple of minutes before we get off? Like to make sure that at least a few of you on here actually take action and make this happen. You see people in the chat talking about, how they've done inspecting, how they've done adjusting. So it's not like this is not blowing smoke. Like let's get to the real of it. What y'all gonna really do with it?
I feel you on that.
Property contents. What's that? Just
Property
the
contents.
personal property?
Property contents is everything is inside the home:
Okay.
couches, refrigerators, clothing, all that kind of stuff. I did it. I did it for a year, by the way. Who was that said that? Smith
Smith.
Nation. Yeah, I did it for a year doing contents. It is tedious.
Is ICA a good school? I'm gonna be honest with you, and I ain't even trying to be funny, but I went to the three largest home inspection schools a couple of years ago, back when I was starting my journey, and there's not one of them that I could recommend. If I was able to recommend one of them for you, I wouldn't have started my own because it's been a lot of work. But there's not, for somebody who is new, who doesn't come, especially if you don't come from a background in the trade. There's not one home inspection school other than Inspector Flow that I could, in good conscience, like really refer you to, that you were gonna get bang for your buck. Sorry, that's just, I ain't trying to be funny, but that's just the real of it.
You know what I would say. What I would say when it comes to these schools, whether it's adjusting or inspecting, is that a lot of them, they're well-meaning. They have a good understanding of what they do for a living, but they don't have a good understanding of how people learn. And so they don't do a deep dive into how people learn. And so like that's the reason I teach. I teach right now because I'm like, well, I don't learn like that. Y'all don't even have and because they're not focused on, and it's not just inspecting or the adjusting industry. It's a lot of industries where it's just like, hey, this is what I said, here's a test on it. Right? That
Mhm.
it just yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Long
It
story
leaves a
short.
lot to be desired, and it bothers me because the assumption publicly is that if I go give this school my $600 or $800, they're gonna teach me how to be a home inspector, and I'm gonna go out and be able to inspect. And it's just not the case, and you don't find that out until you actually have gone through it and gave them your six. I just tell you just like this. This is inspecting, and I don't know, because you can let me know about adjustment, but inspecting is not something that you can learn just by watching videos. So I don't care how many videos they give you, how many PDFs, unless you can log in live, like how we doing right now, and you can ask your questions and you can get an answer and you can say, hold up, I don't understand that. Can you say it again? Can you show me another picture? Can I talk to you after class? If you can't get that, it's probably it's probably going to be mid at best. You need to be taught this.
Well, the thing I think with homeless, all right, we're gonna just use this room as an example. I can tell you that this is sheetrock. Where am I at right here? By you looking at it, right? But the thing is, that's not sheetrock because you can't touch it, so you don't know that's not sheetrock. Also, you don't know that these baseboards ain't regulation baseboard. This ain't how baseboards look, right? And now, if we on video, you think I'm in a regular room. This room is not regular. We got can lights right here. We have all these things here that on video, if you're watching this as an inspector or an adjuster, you don't know the material, right? You just don't know materials and you don't know how things should be. And we got to be able to touch, taste, not taste, but we need to be able to touch and smell and see things as far as building materials. Like, for example, this is vinyl, right? This is vinyl stuff in here, right? But for a lot of people, they think this is metal. I didn't mean to say taste, Claire. My bad, my bad. But you feel what I'm saying? You feel what
Yep.
I'm saying? If
Hmm.
we're watching things, we spent $1,000, $2,000, whatever, because it's some crazy high price stuff out here. Um, if we're not actively being walked through how it's supposed to look, we're gonna have a hard time actively doing our job, even when we think we spent our money. Because you'll be confident about something, because like, well, I spent eight hundred
Spent a
dollars
lot
on
of
there.
money. Yep. Hmm.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Yep. Yep.
You still don't know what you're talking about yet.
The
And so,
majority of my students went to those other places first. That's where they started because I wasn't around back then, so they didn't know. So they went to these places and either couldn't pass the test, didn't know enough to actually do the inspection, And I was just like, but how? But how did they, and I don't want to say it's a money grab for a lot of these large companies, but it don't. I'll give you an example. The NHIE, the National Home Inspector Exam, which is the test that most inspectors have to pass, if you're in a regulated state, whatever the case may be. They proudly state that 55% of the people who take their test don't pass. After I have several years of half of the people taking my test and not passing, at what point do I have to look and say, well, let's reevaluate the test. Let's look at the materials that we're giving people to prepare. But every single time they charge you to take the test. They charge
Mhm.
you for you know what I mean? So it's like, are you really prioritizing people learning the information and truly demonstrating competence? Or is your priority the $225 per test that you're gonna get from people because it's taking them on average 3 times to take the test? So you done got $700 from a person just in test fees, and you're proud about that. You happy about that.
Well, yeah, you're not the only industry that's like it's like that on the insurance justice side too. And I honestly believe they're well meaning. I think they're well meaning people, but I also think that they're not diving deep into how people learn and what people need to be able to retain information so they can perform the job well. Because 55%, that's ridiculous.
I don't think they. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I don't think they care. I don't think
No,
most.
I
I
didn't.
don't think. I don't think most of them care. As long as you're gonna pay them the six, eight, 1,000, $1,200 for the course, and then they know they're gonna and then they all in cahoots. The schools are in cahoots with the testing agencies, and they slosh money back and forth. It's like, especially for non-traditional students, which in our industry the average home inspector is a white guy that's age 50 and up. So anybody outside of that, I'm not sure that it's their priority to help you learn this so you could be making 6 figures and change the trajectory of you and your family's life. I'm not sure that that's a priority. So
I
um
completely agree with you.
what is the
I
best
can,
advice you can give to start being an inspector? Could one be, yeah? So, here's the thing, and we can end on this because I'm about to go eat my dinner.
do this.
I've got two ways that I can help you. The first way is a free email course, and that is for some. If you just have heard about home inspecting here on this live, you followed me, you looked at my content. You can check me on TikTok, on YouTube, on Twitter, on IG. It's the same name across all platforms, so you can see I'm not one of these internet funny people. Like, this what I really do. The email course is a 5-day course. Basically, I send you a training every day, short training, 5-minute video. Day one, I covered the overview. What is a home inspector? What do you have to inspect? How do we do that whole thing? Day two, I talk about your state requirements. Right, each state is different, so you can literally click on your state and find out your state's requirements, what you have to do for your education, testing, if anything. Day three, I cover tips on how to pass that test I just was talking about, the NHIE. So, I've helped 30 people now to pass that test over the last couple of years. So I talk about, different test taking tips and things to help you prepare for that test. Day four, I talk about your earning potential, how much money you can make, and how you need to market. And then day five, I put it all together to show you what a day is like as a home inspector. So that's where you start out at, to give you the overview, to answer all of the questions that you have. And then once you decide that you want to take the step to become a home inspector in your state, then that's when you would enroll in Inspector Flow, which is 16 weeks of school. Basically, we meet every Sunday on Zoom, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. There's homework. We have study sessions on Friday. You can meet Nehemiah in our Facebook group. So that's the actual schooling, the education. Once you come out of there, you'll know the foundations of home inspecting, which is the 10 systems, the 10 major systems of a home, the report writing, the business setup and operations, marketing, the whole nine. You'll be ready to hit the ground running come this spring. The first link in my bio is the email course. The second link is Inspector Flow. So go do your research in both of them. And Javi, you're correct. Michigan is a non-regulated state. So if you sign up for IF6, you'll be making money in Michigan by April.
Wow. Wow. We almost at 10,000 likes.
Come on, y'all, tap the screen. Let's get to 10.
We almost at 10,000 likes. This is amazing. I ain't never been on a live that did 10,000 likes.
Coach
um,
chat, I paid 2 years ago to learn. Cool.
yeah, I sent you something on Twitter. I think you would like.
Okay.
Um, it's a testing platform that I'm planning on using, but I sent you the explanation already on there. But yeah, everybody, I appreciate all y'all hopping in here and talking to me. It is 10 p.m. my time, so I'm 2 hours ahead of y'all. So I'm already like pretty tired. But what I will say is, I have a lot of stuff on TikTok, right? So y'all can. I got a lot of stuff on TikTok. I got a lot of stuff on YouTube. Got a lot of stuff on Instagram. I got every social media platform I'm on. I'm talking about independent adjusting. So don't think you got to spend some money right now to learn something more from me. Just go in and follow me on TikTok, and you're gonna get a whole lot of information. I got like over 100 videos on there. You know,
I do not climb roofs. I use my drone. I have the DJI Mini 3. I use the drone to do my roof inspections. I do not walk the roof.
you know what? Nita, do you do inspections for your? You know what? The field adjusters do that. The field adjusters do the inspection for the insurance policy.
Yeah,
But then it's not the inspection that we do normally. It's another type of inspection they do.
like a 4 point.
Yeah, it's super like yeah,
I know
yeah.
they do those down in Florida. Like 4 points are very most home inspectors. They do as many 4 points as they do home inspections. I don't know what that's like up here because we don't have like all of the crazy weather
No,
and that kind of stuff. So,
no. But
um,
I think this
but
is
the thing that we do have, not because you are, the thing that we do have is lead inspections, right? That's a really big thing going on now. Is trying to assess and remediate lead from the housing stock. So now every rental property is required to have a lead inspection.
wow. I never knew that. I never knew any of that. I think
Yeah.
this is it's. I think what's exciting. What excites me about this is it's so much longevity in this. You know, like my mother is 64 and she got in this business in her late 50s and ran it up. And she running it
Mm-hmm.
up. She working from home right now. She works from home. She's been working home for like 3 years now. But it's like you could go on a 40-year run. You could literally go on a 40-year run out here. It's just amazing. It's just
It's well possible, Javi. Everything is possible for you, baby. Everything is possible. Everything is on the table.
yeah, yeah, this is it's such a special point in time because one, we get to know about this, right? We get to learn about it, we get to share it with others, but like we don't know we don't know how long it's going to be available. What if they switch to all home inspectors got to have college degrees? All independent adjusters got to have college degrees, and if you already you already grandfathered in. We never know. You know, we never
Right.
know, and I think this is one of those few industries. I mean, if you're not doing this, you gonna have to go into tech.
Yep. That's it.
You know, it's
That's
like
it.
this and like a couple of little things, and then it's tech. Like if
That's
you go,
not gonna take a whole lot because again, like even the trades, like I advocate for the trades, but realistically, I mean, to become a plumber, you're talking 3, 4 years.
yeah,
Like an electrician, 4 or 5 years.
yeah,
Carpenter, 2, 3. And not that again, it's not worth it, but I'm just rooted and grounded enough to know that some of us need some options for some funds right now. You know what I mean?
me
And
too.
you feel me? Expeditiously. We don't have the
Yeah,
two,
not
three,
right
4 or 5 years to give the
now.
the the thousands of dollars that would take. You know, I got student like this. It blesses me, and it makes me cry when I think about it. But it's like
No.
I got people who in our onboarding intake call they were telling me about their job and how they was doing them wrong and barely making no money, and like 6, 8 months later they talking about I'm making more money than I ever made. I'm just thinking like for it, y'all are saying this so matter of factly, but I wish I could play for you the video when I saw you, your whole everything, your body, everything about you was just down. And it's
Yeah.
like you invested 5 to 6 months into yourself
Mhm.
to educate yourself, to be around other people who is all moving in the same direction. And not only now are you making the money, but just to look at you, yo, like you brighter mentally, emotionally,
Mm-hmm.
spiritually. I could see, the increase. And man, that is just, if we could have like a mass, if we could have that in mass across our culture.
Oh, it'd be all right. We'd be some. Yellow Cassie, what's up? Yellow Cassie, I talked to Yellow Cassie a couple days ago. Yeah, a lot of people have that battle between adjusting and cybersecurity. Because just like I know a bunch of people on the tech side of things. Shout out to Bees, big shout
Right.
out to
Yeah.
Dave. But I'm always down for people making something of themselves. I need to make money within a month.
No,
Look,
Javi. Bye, Javi. It ain't gonna happen. You better
look.
get you an OnlyFans.
You know what I'm saying? You better get the Uber.
Show some toes.
You know what I'm saying? Look. Yo, um, what is the average age of home inspectors and adjusters? Um, I'll say for adjusters, it trends kind of like what Nita was saying earlier. 40s and 50s is the average age. If you can get in before then, that's awesome. But don't think that because you're 18 or 19, you can't do it. Don't think because you're 60, you can't do it. If you have the minimum requirements, you can get into business. And I would think it's the same thing for home inspection.
Average age is 50. Like I said, the average home inspector is a white guy who's at least 50 years old. But just in inspector flow, I could tell you our youngest student was 21 and our eldest was 60. And Miss Jackie, who is our seasoned 60-year-old, is a cold mother. Shut your mouth when it comes to this inspecting. She know what she's doing. So again, anything, all you got to ask yourself is how am I going to lock in for the next few months and learn, whether it's adjusting, whether it's inspecting, whether it's, how am I going to learn all everything else, all your other questions about how I'm going to do this, how much money, how all of that stuff. I'm telling you, you don't even got to worry about it. There's
No.
more than enough business on the adjusting side. There's more than enough business on the inspecting side, more than enough money to be made. What you need to focus on is locking in and getting the education and your credentials. From there, it all opens up. Period.
I
Dot.
completely agree. I completely agree. And it's
Shamika,
I'm
you ready, baby? Come on in. And women,
mhm.
sorry, because
Yeah.
women make the best inspectors. You want to know why? Because we pay attention to details. Okay? We pay
Mhm.
attention to details and we tend to communicate well in a written format with the report. So I've got several inspectors who are I got them in all age, in their 20s, in their 30s, in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, literally.
Mhm. Mhm. I'm with you. I'm with you 100% on that. Javi, you asking about inspecting, right?
Javi, go to helpmeinspect.com. Start there. So you can get the behind the scenes, the picture of where you need to know what you're getting yourself into so you can make the decision.
Javi, what I would say, if it's either or, adjusterpro.com is a great place to start on the pre-licensing side of things.
They
Um,
not paying you yet?
yeah, they are actually. Yeah,
Oh,
they are.
okay, good.
Yeah. Just go crazy. Yeah, yeah. I got that deal with them this summer. Yeah. Um, yeah. Adjuster Pro. I was like, hold on, big dog. You gonna get me
Come
right,
here and cut
dog.
it out.
I've been helping y'all out way too much. No. So what I would say to Javi, like we talked about this at the very beginning of the live. I'm gonna say this again. If you are struggling and you're in a rush to make some money, struggle for a little bit longer. Okay, I'm sure if you need money next month, you probably need money last month and the month before that too, right? Like one thing I want to remind everybody: you're currently living life based on what you did 6 months ago. Okay, if things are going great right now, it's because you were killing it 6 months ago, and you're still getting those. You're still getting those results. So if shit's hitting the fan right now, it's because of something that happened 6 months ago. So like, to Nita's point is like, yo, let's get in here and grind out the next 6 months and we can solve these problems for good, right? We can solve this like I need immediate money. Like when you need immediate money and you're a home inspector, you go out there and hustle for a bit, $1,500. Even if you made $750 a week, everyone, for a couple weeks or a month or two, it would get you out of that hand to mouth situation that you're currently in, right? So we got even though this is another thing about just in general about life. It's not always about the urgent thing. Sometimes we have to do the thing that's most important. So, well, I'm sorry. So for example, you need money right now. So that gets you to like a 30-day cycle. But the most important thing you need to do is 6 months away from now. But if we keep staying in this urgent cycle, in 6 months we still gonna be hand them out. So we are even in our obstacles, we have to make our vision bigger than our obstacles so we
Hmm.
can get what it is we want.
Yeah, it's a fact. Study material. So, it kind of again depends. I'll just speak overall. There are two textbooks that when we talk about that exam that you have to take, there are two textbooks that you have to have, right? So, reading those textbooks, I got a NHIE study guide. Again, you can check out the link in my bio. And for the study guide to help you, you need to have the textbook. If you're going to enroll in Inspector Flow, I provide the textbooks for you. So if you're enrolled in Inspector Flow, just go ahead and enroll and I'll send you your textbook and you can start there. But if outside of that, you're still going to need them. Um, and also supplemental information. Watching tradespeople, so plumbers, electricians, different things like that, to kind of get an idea can also help you as well. But I'll say again, this is not one of those. This is not people like a lot of time ask me or refer to inspecting as a side hustle, and that makes me uncomfortable because this is not a side hustle. This is not, again, you can't jump on YouTube and watch no videos for this and learn it. You literally got to be taught it. So even with the book, with just trying to read the book without any teaching is, it's going to be challenging for you. I just want to set the proper expectations. Study
Yeah.
materials for adjusters.
Look, I'm in complete agreement with you. Yo, this is adjusterpro.com. I can't switch my camera around for whatever reason. Adjusterpro.com, go here. That's where the study materials are. Pre-licensing course, that's what we use in the business. There's some other companies that are not as good. I like Adjuster Pro because it's really straightforward and streamlined. They're not knocking your head off on the price point,
Mm-hmm.
and also like that's what I use, and it's essentially the biggest pre-licensing provider in the United States as of right now. So um, go
I
there.
used Adjuster Pro too. When I got my
Yeah.
license, I went through Adjuster Pro too. Very simple and easy to get through, and that was a big thing for me. So yeah.
Oh yeah, we hit 10,000. We
Oh
got
yeah.
10,000. We made it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Javi, yeah. So if you are in a non-regulated state, off the top of my head, let me start from the west. Cali, Colorado, Kansas, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia. Any if you're in any of those states, not any of those plus the other, I think there are like 20 non-regulated states right now. You need to enroll in school, specifically IF6, because what that means for you is that there's no reason why you wouldn't be ready to start doing paid inspections come April or May. You
That's
hear what I
amazing.
said? If you're in any one of those, you don't know if your state is regulated or not, then you need to go to helpmeinspect.com. On day two, you'll find out. You can click, find your state and click. If you see non-regulated, that's your cue to enroll. Class starts February 25th. By April, May, June, this coming up, spring, summer, you'll be doing paid inspections. If you're not going to do that, I don't know what else to tell you. Yeah, Shamika, if you're in Colorado, yep. And you already have some knowledge of this from and if you're an adjuster, you need to pick up this extra skill. And if you're an inspector, you need to go to Adjuster Pro, vice versa. The skills are too similar, too related for you
I,
not to pick up basically both credentials and use them to your advantage.
I agree. Do you have a course to becoming an independent adjuster? I'm glad you asked. Several courses. I got a whole lot of courses I've created over the years now. My most popular course, which has been taken by over 3,000 people, is the roadmap to become an independent insurance adjuster. Right? And so that course, it's got over 150 five-star ratings. It's got over 1,600 people in the private group. It's normally $97. You can get it today for $77 if you go to the link in my bio. on TikTok. All you gotta do is go to the link on there, click sell, and you get it for $77, y'all. This course is the course that Nehemiah took that went and got him all that money. It's the course that all my students who made who've done very well for themselves in the last few years, Adrian and Matt and Hank, RP Hank, and so on and so forth. All those people took the roadmap to become an independent insurance adjuster. It comes with a private Discord group with 1,600 people in it. All those people are networking day in and day out, posting deployments, answering each other's questions. It has several mini courses inside it, like the Seasons of Independent Insurance Adjusting. It has a mini resume course in there as well, along with 15 questions to ask IA firms. It helps you get hired. All you gotta do, click on my profile, go to the link in my bio. It's $77. It's not gonna be on sale for long. I don't usually keep it on sale. It's already super cheap at $97 for what you're gonna be getting for it, right? But that is my main course. It's super straightforward. Let's see what else you got here. It took me a week on Adjuster Pro to get licensed. You are amazing. Javi asks, what do adjusters do? Yella, I'm an adjuster in Dallas, Texas. Yella, Yella, I was working in Dallas. I worked for Hallmark Claims in Dallas, Texas at one point for catastrophe response unit. I don't know if they're still doing deployments out there right now, but they were doing commercial deployments when I was out there. What do adjusters do? So what an independent adjuster does is we handle insurance claims for insurance carriers like State Farm, Geico, and Liberty Mutual when they have an overflow of claims in their staff adjusters cannot handle it. We do that so they won't get fined by the Department of Insurance. So that's a brief explanation of what it is we do for a living. Okay.
That's another thing that's the same about our industries, right? So those companies need independent adjusters, otherwise they face a fine essentially by the government, essentially, right? And it's the same thing on the inspecting side of things. It's not the government, but these people, you have to have an inspection before you can get released the money, from your lender. And if you're buying FHA, then you are required to have the government says, before I'm going to give you this money to buy this house, you have to have the inspection. That's a good sign when you talk about recession proof and stability and all that kind of stuff. Anything that the government got their hands in, it's probably going to be around for some time. It's not going
Yeah.
anywhere.
You want to change no laws around bureaucratic
Yeah.
things, right? They're not going to make a law that says. So this is the other thing I want everybody to understand about both of our industries. Our industries are the way they are because the banks say, we're going to give you a mortgage. You're going to do these things. You're going to get insurance. You're going to get inspection. The finance industry fuels our industries, which is, real estate and everything around it, and insurance. Insurance is the other side of banking. But with that being said, like, because of these bureaucratic laws that the finance industry has placed on the real estate industry, we're never going away, ever. So something to think about as y'all go make these decisions about what y'all gonna do for a living.
Hmm.
You
That's
know?
how you can vet your industries. When you like a lot of the things like over the last couple of years that people have gotten into and wasted time and money, it's like there's no way that you thought that that would be around after the pandemic was over.
Why would you think that? Like I forgot. You know what? I know what it was. I'm not gonna start talking too much shit, but like I'm not. You know what? I'm not. I'm not even gonna start. We said enough. Okay. But it was several things I was like, nah, I know. Now,
Mhm.
why in the world would you think that? Yeah, because unfortunately, we were talking like this 3 years ago, and we're talking like this right now. Uh, and that's kind of the hard part about it. Javi said Adjuster Pro. What was the other one? What was the other one for what? Because we only talked about Adjuster Pro on the insurance side of things.
Oh yes, yeah. So adjuster pro on the adjusting side of things, and inspector flow for the inspection side of things. So Shamika, that's what you're looking for too, inspector flow. If you go up to the top and you click on my TikTok profile and click the link in my bio, The second link is all of the information about Inspector Floyd. You can go read all about it and hear from, some of our alumni and all of that kind of stuff. And again, go search both of us across platforms, on all of the platforms. Go search, do your research, and you'll see that he is him and I am her.
Mm-hmm. I'm not famous enough to get a fake profile yet, so if you look up Steve's story, it's gonna be me. It's gonna be one of me and a bunch of white guys. So that's it. Um, but yeah, I appreciate all y'all hopping in here, asking questions, learning a bit, learning to invest in yourself, right? Nita, I appreciate you having me on. Always good talking to you.
For
You know,
sure.
we gotta do this more often.
Right, right.
We
We
should do
might
this a
have
whole
to
lot.
if we get oh what's your they want to know your name.
My name is Steven Story. Steven with a PH, Story with the EY. All right. So if you type my name in on any of these social networks, you're gonna find me. It's a ton of information I got on all these spots, on all these social media platforms. So check me out. I don't know if y'all can follow me just straight from my live, but
Yeah, I was
um,
looking for that.
yeah, I don't know if it works like Instagram or something like that, but
Okay.
either way, I appreciate all y'all, and I'm probably gonna keep going. I'm probably gonna eat dinner, and I'm probably gonna get back on live in like an hour. I'm gonna do 3 lives a day, so
You
it's
on
my
that
second
marathon,
live today.
cuz get it. You better get
Yo,
it.
hey, look, I'm grinding out right now.
I
Look,
feel it.
I'm trying to
I
make
feel
something
it.
shake. Yeah. So, but that's that. I appreciate y'all. We can go ahead and wrap this up, I guess.
All right, y'all have a good day, cuz we'll talk soon.
All right,
Peace.
I'll let you.